What's going on, Black family? This is Barrington Bowen, and I wanted to start this channel off by answering a very important question. What does it mean to be Kemetic? To be Kemetic is referring to a cultural tradition, a unique history belonging only to Black people. Kemetic also refers to what would otherwise be known as Kemet, or the ancient name of what we call today Egypt. To be Kemetic is not simply a monicum ascribed to Egyptian culture, but rather it speaks to 300 plus thousand years of Black experience, Black success, Black failure. Because according to our great esteemed warrior scholar and master teacher, Dr. Shikanta Diop, on page 71 of the African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality, what he attests is that, the common reference to Kemet as a analogy for the soil surrounding Egypt is pure foolishness. What the Egyptians used the name Kemet, referring to their culture, their phenotype, their skin, their origin, and it was expressed in all of their artworks, their literature, their records, and they knew essentially very well where they came from, and they made no qualms about citing that, which is why they really oriented themselves towards the South. What was in the South? That's the origin of humanity. It's what Professor Kaba cites in the Shabaka Stone as the birthplace of humanity's first family, known as the Twa Pygmies or the Twa people. They're also known as the Kang or the Ainu, and the Ainu are expressed all throughout Egyptian culture, and they're even responsible or said to be responsible for Egypt's, or one of Egypt's most important literary works, the Book of the Dead. And I'm using the name Kemetic because it describes a deep depth of experience that no other group has. To be Kemetic is essentially to align or orient oneself, just as the Egyptians did, to the South from whence we all came. All tribes, all Black tribes find their origin. All Black people find their origin. Really, all of humanity finds their origin in this location. And what you'll see before you with that stone statue is what the first pharaoh of Egypt looked like. Who does he look like? Does he look like an Arab? Does he look like a white person? No, he looks like you. And in addition, right beside him is a member of the Sans people, who are also known as the Khoisan, another name for the Ainu people. And you can see who that looks like as well. He looks like us. You can also see the epicantic fold over across his eyes, because that is not that's not an Asian phenotypical trait. That's an African phenotypical trait. And I mentioned the eyes because you can see the slant even with Pharaoh Menes right there in his eyes. And I say all of this to say that the answer to what does it mean to be Kemetic, it means to orient oneself to the history, the deep, the extensive history of what it means to be Black. It means to accept and look into all cultures, not just Egypt, but not the West, the East, the North, the South, all origins that combined or led to the substantial knowledge housed in Egypt, because it's really just an expression of experience, Black experience. So the first tool in this series to be Kemetic is simply a call to action for us to readjust ourselves, realign ourselves to the South from which we came, to look to our cultures, to look to our traditions, to look back into our history, to really come into knowledge of who we are, and not just who we are, but where we failed, where we misstepped, and where we must go and how to correct those missteps. To be Kemetic is to stand firmly in our historical truth and affirm it within ourselves and take steps further than where our ancestors went. To be Kemetic is to return to yourself.